Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hare here. Today's video is on a very basic concept called sequencing. And what better way to talk about sequencing than my favorite card for today to showcase, Goldfish. Now if you see my axes here, nothing much has changed. It's the same team, just using Babylonia in the middle. But we're not going to talk about Babylonia today because that's a bit more advanced. Today we're just going to be talking about this small little card. And to do that, I have prepared a very simple slideshow explaining it. So let's get right into it. Okay, so this is Goldfish. And the only requirements it requires you to have is that it must be the only attack card in your hand. And you get to draw one if you manage to trigger it. Revenge cards don't count. So let's go on the benefits first. Why is it important to draw? Is it always important to draw? Well, there are two ways you can benefit from it. With energy and without energy. With energy, you keep drawing bullets to shoot your opponents with. You keep drawing attack cards to use. You keep drawing out other skills you might want to use in the game. That's with energy. Without energy, there is also use for it. You might draw into zero cost cards like Clear, Nemo, whatnot to immediately gain the benefit of, oh, I can use it to gain extra energy. Or you can draw just zero cost cards just to use it, just to banish it so you don't draw into it again. Or you can draw into curses. There are so many games where I have used Nemo and it has given me a confused because of unstable, and then I used Goldfish, I drew back into Nemo. Or I drew back into the curse itself, the confused. Therefore, it negates the bad effect of unstable in the first place. Not just confused. Jinx also work. Hot Bath, anything which has ethereal. Or even days, they work too. You don't get to draw into them for one entire loop. So that's good. So the next section of the reason why Goldfish is so good is because you need to have a strategy when you plan around Goldfish. My strategy, and you guys can use mine, is to deliberately sequence for a strategy of drawing as much cards as possible for a game. Digging really deep into my draw pile. Or create a scenario in which Goldfish is the only attack card remaining in my hand. And have a little faith also. This type of strategy you need to have faith. Now when it comes to execution, Goldfish alone isn't that great. Hear me out. Goldfish is only as good as the other cards which synergizes with. So if you have a lot of zero cost cards, Goldfish becomes significantly better. And you need to understand how these cards work. So if you utilize Clear, Nemo Tail, as well as Early Bird to create the scenario, remember the two scenarios I talked about? Deliberately drawing as many cards as possible from the draw pile, scenario 1. Scenario 2, create a hand in which Goldfish is the only attack card. So you can use Clear, you can use Nemo Tail, as well as Early Bird to draw into Goldfish, or using Clear to draw into Goldfish, or purposely getting rid of attack cards in your hand. If the attack cards in your hand are not efficient, you don't need them for this turn. Probably it has an initial effect, but you've already used your initial card. You can use the Clear effect to discard them and draw into Goldfish, or draw into non-attack cards, you never know. Or use the return function to return those initial attack cards so that next turn you can use them for your initial. And then Goldfish can be your only attack card. Just need to plan around it properly. Everything has its time and place. Now let's move on to lines of play. So you want to use a Clear into another Clear. This is the most optimal line of play. It only happened to me once in every 1000 games or what. Clear into an Early Bird to keep drawing into the entire draw pile, into Goldfish. And then Goldfish will draw into another card, probably into a Nemo. By then you might have run out of energy. We don't know. And then your final attack card to end the turn. And it doesn't make sense. Why would you start the turn with a Clear? Maybe you started the turn with an attack card with the effect of an initial. Swallow, for example, Kestrel, for example, Risky Fish, for example. There are so many cards now in Axie Origin which has the initial effect, so you always most likely would have led with that. And with this line of play, in my head I'll have an autopilot running, like some sort of a machine running in the background, like, okay, how can I get to this point, from point A to point B as fast as possible? Have I done this before? Have I done this already? And I'm trying to insert all the scenarios into this line of play. Of course, not that optimal. I need to see the situation, in which later I'll show you also. Sometimes I will check the draw pile and then use Early Bird, hoping that I can get Clear, start the loop, or get Goldfish to, keep going. And the key to this is to have faith. You know the guy in an Assassin's Creed when he jumps into a pile of haystack from the top of the building, the top of the tower? That's it. Okay, this is a very small clip. I'll show you the entire clip later on what you should do. Now take a look at this. This is my hand. A Babylonia, a Swallow, double clear, and a Nemo. Seems like a pretty bad hand, right? Now in this, I wanted to show you that I have 2 clears and a Nemo, and I have too much energy for the job. So what I did, I used 1 clear, which is the one from the front line because he's gonna die soon, so I used that first, to clear off the other clear, and hope to God I get Goldfish. So that's a 33% chance. When I did, I got Goldfish, which was lucky of me, which drew me into a Mavis. Now you might say, oh, that's coincidence. It is not much of a coincidence if you keep doing it, because if you keep stirring up the pot, something is going to happen. Now this is another clip. You see that I have a few cards. They don't look that optimal, but my draw pile only has a clear and Goldfish. Therefore I led with an initial card first, going to draw with a clear, and okay, let's just play it and see what happens. It's easier for me to show you. So Kestrel, because it's an initial card, most cards only have the best value when used first in the turn. Shoalstar to get rid of the guy in front. I don't have to use Mavis first, I need the energy. So I use clear to clear the Mavis, and I was lucky I drew into Goldfish. That's a 50-50 chance, sometimes you need fate. And that drew me into clear and Cottontail. So this is like useless, right? But I still use clear because I wanted to draw deeper, refresh the entire pile, and hope to draw into a confuse or something or whatnot. Okay, this is the full game, and I'll just commentate as the game goes on. This is for the first showcase. This is the entire game. So this is my opponent. He's playing a Fear team. The entire team runs on curses and fear. And if you've never fought against a Fear team before, they can be very annoying because they punish you for being aggressive. So for here, I just led with a Kestrel, pass the turn. My opponent uses a Pigeon Pose and a Post Right. Pigeon Pose isn't that great on the first turn use because they don't have that much aggression anyway, but it really messes up my draw pile, which is what my enemy wants to do. So that's what I did. I just returned the the Cottontail, knowing that I'll get it next turn. So in a way, the move of using Blackmail on turn 1 is kind of like it hurts you more than it hurts me kind of thing. Okay, back to my turn. I led with a Risky Fish, always lead with an initial, and I used Early Bird because I hoped to draw into a clear, but I didn't get a clear. It's alright. If I did get a clear, I would have shuffled away the Shoalstar. But for this case, no. Shoalstar is good here. If I were to get a clear, I would have checked my draw pile. That's for sure. And it doesn't show in this replay that I check the draw pile or I check the history to see what my opponents use, but I always check it on my turn. So look at this, I have a Babylonia and Swallow and double clear. So this is the exact thing playing out as what I've explained earlier. Once these lines of play become second nature to you, especially to all you Goldfish players, you will start to see that having lots of zero costs in your team can be very flexible and also quite liberating. You don't get the annoying feeling like I draw 2 Nemos and 1 attack card and I cannot do anything about it. Goldfish negates that drawback. As well as cards like Early Bird, Blue Moon, Hare, these cards also help you draw into more cards. But then Early Bird has the problem of just being limit for 1. So that's that. See my opponents are getting real aggressive with the curses like Inkling, Cute Bunny. But it doesn't stop me because I have a Swallow and I led with it. In most cases, if the opponent's health is much higher, I would have used Kestrel because I want to get myself into a comfortable 1v1. Okay, let's go into the next game. This is the second showcase showing the earlier small clip. This is the full game. Let's check out our opponents here. He's using a Chubby, Pagoda, Rise, and Ronin. It looks like I'm fighting against another curse team. Well, half curse, half reflux. Let's see how it plays out. I have a Risky Fish like usual. This is basic sequencing. You guys have to memorize this by this point. Like you need to use the Nemo when to use this card. You know, this is just even more basic. But I bet if you're listening to me and you're watching this video right now, you've already grasped on the basics. I'm just trying to help you improve and up your game level. Now, I'm not simply using swallow for nothing. I checked the history to know that my opponent actually used the shield. That is why it's good for me to use swallow, because it's not good to just simply use swallow just for the fun of it. You're going to lose 20 life every time you do it, so you need to better be sure it's worth it. So here I paused because I wanted to look at my draw pile, and in the actual game itself I did look at the draw pile, and I could have drawn into a clear if I use an early bird. So that is an option. If I draw into early bird, I use an early bird and draw into clear, I could clear off the 2 attack cards, which might give me another clear or a Nemo, and I might clear off the last attack card by using it and use Goldfish, and then the combo can start. But since I have 8 cards in, there are 8 cards, so my chances of drawing clear is very low. I might not want to risk it. So I led with a risky fish, and then only early bird, and then I didn't draw into it, so it's okay, it's alright. I only risk it all if it is really worth it, or I have a hunch in my heart telling me, okay, this is the turn I have to risk it all. Then only I will lead with early bird. But because there are so many cards in my draw pile, it's such a low chance. This one on the other hand has potential, because it looks like, look at my draw pile. I guess you've already seen the clip from earlier, right? This is me reiterating the process. So once the chances become higher, it is more worth it to take such gamble, especially if the gamble is just 50-50. What do you have to lose? An extra card or an extra energy. There's not much to lose on this. And usually if you're an opponent, you're facing against opponents with Goldfish, you notice like, oh, how come these guys keep getting attack cards? Why is this guy so lucky? He's not lucky. Goldfish is helping him a lot. So yeah, just risky fish, go gill. At this point, I'm just trying to get as much damage into him as possible. I cannot let this guy set up his Cerastus and set up his the curved spine. The more he sets up, the harder it is for me to break through. And once it gets to Blood Moon, I cannot beat him already. And it's already turn 10. I'm like, what, 6 turns away? 6 turns goes by really fast. For this case, I just use Castrol because, you know, what else is there to use already? And I ended the game with a Goldfish. Right, okay, before we end, like usual, here are my crafting my crafting journey and what I've crafted so far. Oh, pure skill, not bad. It's an epic. I take epics any day. Oh, energy guru. Energy guru is good. I already have one. Oh, malediction. Malediction's good. It's an epic rune. And I know a lot of people who are inching to get their hands on this. Plan charm faith. Let me reload my SLP. Okay, I'm back. I am back. I'm not addicted, guys. Really, I promise. Let's try to see what we get. Oh, I don't have any more materials left. Let's just do it. Okay, pure skill. Ooh, charm power too. Not bad. Beast. Can sell that for some money. Bug. No hit on bug. Just don't like their charms. Oh, Reckless Hunter. Reckless Hunter is good. Okay, reptile charm of endurance. And that is it. I hope you guys learned something new. I learned a lot by trying to explain my thought process. If you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again soon. Take care.